When I hung up with him, I was like, what a fucking gift. I was a guy that lived in a Volkswagen bus, followed the Grateful Dead around, asked people for fucking spare change, ate at fucking soup kitchens in my life, did whatever job I could do to get by. I would go to fucking churches and ask for, I was just a fucking bum. And I'm a guy that just got ripped off for a couple $100,000 worth of watches. And now I'm talking to a dude about turning his life around. And I'm like, that's the gift in all this, right? That's the fucking gift.
Welcome to another episode of the Powerless to Powerful Recovery podcast. My name's Jason. I'm an alcoholic. As always, our mission is to share experience, strength, and hope across multiple media platforms, the story of addiction and the road to recovery. We're not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous or any other 12-step based organizations or groups in any way, but we're back for another show. And my co-host is here, Ronnie, no matter what. What's up, Ron?
There we go.
I mean, it's been a special day today.
Man, it's
been
a good day.
We're learning a lot about
this.
squares and you know, adjusters, and that's about all I've learned. I don't retain much, Bob, because we have a special guest about roofing here. We have had today the leaders in the industry.
Let's go.
They've literally put their footprint, especially our special guest now. His fingerprint, footprint, body print is across this state. He's had single-handedly has just revolutionized and changed the game. From building his own company, from Pro West, One Solution, Interstate Roofing, we're going to talk about exiting, getting everything you've wanted in life. We're going to talk about sharing that with others, still sponsoring men today. He's got 28 years of recovery, right? And sobriety, still sponsoring guys, goes to meetings, right? Still doing those things. Father, got two daughters, two daughters, two sons. Redemptions Blueprint founder, co-founder of Redemptions Blueprint. Bob Schober's in the house.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bob.
Good to be here.
Whoa, dude. Whoa. Thank you for your time, man.
Sure.
And to have you on the show, you know, I've been watching, you know, we have a friend, Adam, who was our first guest onto the show, and I've been watching your guys' success, and I watch the way you share it with others, watch the way you celebrate the time you have with your family, to have that connection to things that I've been able to hear from him. I mean, I mean, it's just so good to have you on the show and share this time with you, and I know, man, life must be nice today, right? And you hear that all the time,
Yeah,
right? But they don't realize the hard work.
I definitely feel like God spoils me. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
If there's favorites, I might be one of them.
There you go.
Yeah, and there's one thing I forgot to shout out, right? And maybe it's because there's a story attached to it, but I got to shout out to TikTok, right? Because you know everything social media, and the reason I talk about social media is if you want to be a part of anything that we're talking about today, and you want to be a part of Pro West, and you want to go from the yard to make 100K plus. If you want to go out and knock doors, and you want to go out and learn an industry that can give you everything you've ever wanted in life times 10, and the ability to give it back to others at the same time, right? Or keep it all to yourself if you wanted to. But that's what's made you guys so successful. You know, you got one team right now that's doing more in sales. We'll do more this year than multiple other companies.
Not even close.
Than all the
Yeah.
It's insane.
Adam Tronier's team, 35 million ish. It's rare you get companies that are going to do more than 10. Yeah. Adam probably makes more than 98% of most roofing company owners in the country. I would bet you anything on that.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's his team, and it's a direct reflection of the leadership, the foundation that you build. It took you a lot of years to build it, understand it.
Yep.
Now you've been able to replicate it. You guys have been able to get on the prison I mean, there's just so many things you've been able to do to take, you know, over the last 11 months, they've introduced 100 men and women out of prison onto the team, onto the crew. And
that's probably what I'm most, if you say, what are you most proud of, putting my kids to the side?
What are you most proud about?
Dude, when me and Adam met, he had this vision of us being in the prison somehow and being able to help people that are incarcerated and give them an opportunity. So he brought that to me. There was a guy named John Jackson who did like 17 years in Pelican Bay. And John was doing a bunch of social media stuff. Adam was following him. And he said, Bob, we got to meet this guy. Somehow we have to meet him. And we need to like do stuff with him business-wise. And I said, okay. So I let Sean Ricks, our CEO, know. And Sean's in Salt Lake. And John Jackson was in Salt Lake City. Sean found a connection to him, put them together. We all got together. John came down to the office for a day. He's like, what you guys have here is special. And we launched a program with them. I forget what Adam said it was. I don't. I mean,
It's
like,
from the yard to
from the
100K
yard to
plus
100K
curriculum.
plus.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the name of the curriculum.
But I was on the Hustle 2.0
Hustle
program.
2.0
Yep.
curriculum.
And it's
You
from the
guys
yard to
teamed up.
100K
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
And so we took a bunch of our guys who were formerly incarcerated, put together these videos, launched that in the prisons. I think
so hard. They created an app where they were able to create the app to find. Dude, we've been trying to get our stuff onto the prisons for so long. Dude, you guys were able to achieve that in under a year. You guys were able to get
that's
it done.
God. That's not Adam or me or John Jackson,
dude.
right? Like that's God's work.
And I remember the conversations with that. It's like, we're going to go out to Utah, Hustle 2.0, because we're familiar with the curriculum.
Yeah.
We knew right away the curriculum. We actually have been through the course. We've used it. We've used it to teach groups at other companies. So we were like, oh yeah, we knew right away. And so just to watch that evolution has just been just
so dude,
crazy.
last month we had 3,000 hours of curriculum being watched. Just last week we had our first guy out of prison. It's kind of the nice thing about like being with private equity. We've been able to grow very quickly and really spread our wings. And we are in 22 states and a bunch of cities on top of that. And so now we're in a bunch
the real
of prisons.
storm chasers.
Yeah. And a bunch of the prisons that are in the states that we're in, like our very first guy that took the course and went through the course came out in Colorado last week and went out with our guy Reed, and on his first day got his first contract.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Let's go.
so
This is
awesome.
a dude that like, where am I going?
What am I
I'm
gonna
gonna make
do?
$20 an hour, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so
not
this
a
is
lot
what
of
happens.
options.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. You get called up to the yard office. You got about 10 minutes to see your CO3. You completely have no idea what you do. So if you're somebody who had recently got out and you felt like this, and you're someone who's sitting in it right now and you're thinking, what the hell am I going to do? Right. And that's what we've all had, that same thought. You need an address, then immediately it costs money. Then you immediately got to find a job. The only jobs we've ever had was about hustling and doing things the wrong way. We're changing habits. We've learned new disciplines. What are we going to do? And you have no idea what you're going to do. Right. And so now you are able to get on the tablets, start learning. And that's what the whole curriculum's about. It teaches you about sales. It teaches you about ABC.
Dude, let me interrupt. We were on a Zoom call. We were on a Zoom call 3 weeks ago.
It's amazing.
In a prison in Texas, and there was about 30 or 40 guys that had went through the program, watched all the videos, and they were getting up on a Zoom call and practicing their sales pitch to us. It's fucking
my
amazing.
God,
Come on,
dude.
dude.
How
that
cool
shit's
is
next
that?
level. Right? Like, it's so popular right now. I'm sure Adam touched on some of this stuff, but everybody's like, I'm the roof god, or I own a fucking Lamborghini and I did this and I did that. And like, nobody fucking cares, dude.
Yeah.
What have you done to change the shit around you? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's really what that's what I'm proudest of. Is that there's a fucking movement inside our organization. It's not about roofing. We could be selling anything. We could be selling treatment. We could be selling air conditions, but that's the vehicle that we drive, right? And you really get to write your. I mean, where else can a guy go with no education after 13 years in prison, like Adam, and make over 7 figures a year?
Yeah, and so just to speak on that for a quick second, and Ron, we know all the same people. They're all our friends, but I was personally incarcerated with probably about 40 of the lives you've personally touched and given this opportunity to, and they're a part of Redemption's blueprint. All the guys, they work for you. They're part of the crews. Dude, you give them the ability to go from the yard and make 100+ K, and it's not just Adam. It's Drew. It's Matt.
Yeah, this isn't a one-hit wonder. This is not a one-off.
You can't deny it, dude. It's everybody.
Sure.
And that's how you've been able to, because it's all about outcomes.
Hence the name.
You can
Dude,
talk about it.
The coolest shit is this. Like, we've bought vehicles for people over the years that have then gone and pay it forward. And I watch Adam buy vehicles for people that buy vehicles for people that buy vehicles for people, right? And they're not getting $80,000, pickup trucks from us, but they're getting a vehicle to get them around.
Started, yeah.
And that kind of stuff is getting paid down the line. Like 5 levels deep, guys are doing that kind of stuff for the next guy. It's no different than Alcoholics Anonymous, right? It's really the same. The principle is the same.
It's a path of recovery. That's what they built. It's the same principles like on the fire crew. It's the same principles that we create with Desert Recovery Centers and the 12-step program and AA and all the A's, right? It's the same thing, and that's what's made you guys successful. You took the guys who really wanted to make changes, who started to make those changes. Now you give them the platform to really make those changes and come out with skills,
right,
to be able to pitch live on the phone, so you already have the pitch down when you get out. And then I've seen you guys pay it forward, and that's what's made Adam and his team so successful. And your team is that pay it forward mentality from the program, where most of us learn that fundamental foundation.
Sure.
And so, but I got to talk about TikTok for a second, right? 9-figure roofing,
dude.
It's nine.
So we're
nine,
watch guys. We're watch guys.
The TikTok handle's 9-figure roofer.
9-figure roofer
Used to be the.
Okay, we're gonna plug that on there, Matt. We're gonna get that on there. 9-figure roofer. Okay, but we like watches. I mean, we need watch cam in here. We need watch cam in here. But there's a story about a guy with a timepiece gentleman. It was a large Ponzi scheme. I think everyone's, how many views did it get? 22 million, the views on one video.
So
tell us the story. That's what we want to hear. The story.
yeah.
We want to hear the story.
I'll give you the quickest version possible because it's kind of a long story. I met that I seen the guy online in probably February of 2023. I like the videos. Seen him give a watch away. And then he was like selling a watch to Joe Hayden. I'm a lifelong Browns fan. It's one of my favorite Browns ever. I'm like, this guy, I look at his reviews, seems trustworthy. I buy a $20,000 Sky Dweller from him. Blue dial, Sky Dweller, steel, right? So I bought that. Smooth transaction, wired the money, got to watch the next day. I'm like, smooth. The next month I bought a rose gold day date. That was 50 grand. Sent him the money, got to watch. Then I sold him an AP that I had for 100 grand, gave him the watch, got the money. Then I bought a Patek from him for 130 grand. And sent him the money, got the watch, no issues. So this dude, over a period of 6-7 months, built my trust up. There was even a time with that one video that's kind of in question, before I knew he was a bad apple, where I reached out to him. I popped into a store here in Scottsdale, and I said, do you have any Richard Milles? They said, no. And I said, well, listen, I want one, but I'm not going to buy one online without seeing it or trying it on first. I said, so if you get anything, give me a ring. Guy hits me up 2 weeks later, just got an RM in. I said, sweet, sends me a picture of the watches. I like it. I'm going to go. I said, okay, hold that. I'll be in the morning. And in the meanwhile, since I had done 6 deals with Anthony and I earned his trust. Like,
well, for sure.
Dude.
Who wouldn't? Yeah. I mean, and those are large transactions.
Big transactions.
Over the mail system.
3 different 6-figure transactions through the mail system.
So
exactly. So I sent him a picture of this RM and I said, hey, this is for sale for this price. Is this a good deal? And he says, Bob, that's my watch. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, that's my watch. I said, this is not your watch. This is for sale at a store in Scottsdale. He goes, no, that watch was stolen from me when I was in Phoenix 4 months ago. I said, get the fuck out of here. And dude, he sends me a screenshot of a post he made of that same watch. Hey, I got robbed in Scottsdale. If anybody sees this watch, it's mine. Please reach out. That was a post he made 4 months earlier. I looked at his post and I looked at the picture that the guy from the store sent me. It was the exact same watch. They had the scratches in the same place.
I've seen those videos on TikTok.
100%.
100%, yeah.
I'm going in. I said, what do you want me to do? He's like, dude, I'm going to come out there. I said, fly out. I'll pick you up. I said, you can crash at my house. Yeah. Never met the guy. Comes over. Nice guy. Yeah. Dude, we talked for hours about watches.
Yeah, bam, bam. His videos are dope. His video, I've watched all of them. That's
the next day, wake up, and I said to my girlfriend, I said, come with us. We're going to go to this watch store, and I want you to film it because I want to see like what they say. So we walk in. She walks in behind us, and she starts filming. The dude brings the watch out for me. I hand the watch to Anthony. They know who he is because everybody's looking at him and talking when he walks in. He was a popular watch at the time. Yeah. And he tells the lady, this is my watch. And she's like, it's not your watch. And he's like, look, this is a $225,000 watch.
I wouldn't know if it was my
I'm telling you, this is my watch. She's like, where's your police report? He's like, I didn't file one. That was the very first time I thought to myself, who would not fucking file a police report? Yeah. Right? For the insurance, at least.
And that's what was questionable about the video, even though it wasn't his watch, but that was the only thing.
The only thing that gave me fucking pause was there was no, but dude, at that point, again, we'd already done a ton of transactions.
Dude's got bread.
I'm cool with it.
Let's go
100%. 100%. And I even asked him, I was like, dude, on a personal level, before I started buying big shit, I had to there was like a number in my head, right? That number, if you got $1 million, you're not buying Ferraris unless you're fucking stupid. You know what I mean? You're not buying Patek Philippe. You're not buying this and that. But I see him driving like he's got like a Ferrari. He's got an R8. He's got like some Aprilia. He's got like expensive shit. And I said, dude, how much money are you making selling watches?
Yeah.
Like what? Like how are you making? Like because you're living lavish. And he said, Bob, I do $4 million a month in sales, and I make 10%, 10-12%. So I'm like, oh, the numbers add up. Yeah, you know what I mean? I can see how he's doing that.
Quick prison math.
You're shit ton of followers. Okay, yeah, it's not crazy.
All right. You're starting to feel him out a little bit. Okay.
So on that video that my girlfriend at the time was filming, the woman, he takes the watch out of her hand, and she the guy's name in the background was Don. She's like, Don. And Don pulls his gun out and is pointing it at me, and I'm not, we ain't doing that. We're not running. Yeah. If he runs, he could shoot him. I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
We're not concerned. In the video, you're just standing there.
I'm chill.
Yeah, you're chilling.
But the guy's got his gun drawn on us. They call the cops. I said, call the cops. They should come because this is his watch. Again, I'm still on his side.
Yeah.
Cops come. He doesn't get the watch back. We found out during that time that they paid $130 grand for that watch. Damn. There is no fucking way anyone in the country was paying $130 grand and thinking that
thing
watch
wasn't hot.
In my opinion,
Right.
I could be
100%.
wrong. The store's very reputable. I have nothing negative to say about the store.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Yeah, at all. Yeah, no,
But
yeah, of course not.
it's that part was a little bit like gave me a little bit of pause.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that was that. We left. You know, so
But this turns out to be it turns out to be a massive thing because you uncover it. You know.
I don't know. It's a massive thing.
Oh, okay.
So that video was taken probably in May. In the beginning of July, I said, "Yo, I got the Patek, the 5980, and I got this watch, which I just bought again from Josh Buslovich out of Chicago. Good dude." I say, "I have these two watches, and I want the Patek 5990. It's a $250,000 watch." So I said, "Here's what I'm going to do. This one at 130, this one at 85." He said, "You overpaid for this guy." I said, "I know I did, but nobody else has them, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
So we do this deal, and I said, "I'll pay the difference in cash." He said, "Okay, done." He said, "Bob, you're doing well in life. You're not hurting for money. Why don't you consign the watches with me? And I'm probably going to get you an extra 10 or 20 grand over what I can offer you for them in cash." A couple six-figure deals, but many, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
With him, 6 deals in total. I have all the trust. There's nothing in me
sure,
that
that
thinks
sounds good.
over a couple
Yeah,
hundred
why
grand.
not? Yeah,
Let's do it. I'll take an extra 10 or 20 grand.
Yeah, why not?
We do the deal. I send them out there. There's no shortcut to this story, really. So I send the watches out. About 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from my buddy in Chicago, and he says, "Yo, I know you do deals with Anthony. I'm hearing he's a house of cards. Be careful." And this is a guy telling me that I still do watch deals with to this day. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So I went on Anthony's website, and the Patek was off the website, and so was the Rolex. And initially, he had put my watch for sale on his website.
Yeah.
So I hit him up, and I'm like, "Dude, where's my watches?" He's like, "Oh, I got a guy coming in." He said, the Sky Dweller's sold. Sorry, I've been too busy to. And he had tons of action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're like, all right.
He said, "But I got a guy coming to look at the Patek. It's 99% sure. So
I'll hit you back in a
we should
couple
have
days."
that." Exactly. I said, "Okay." But now I'm
Hit you
like,
back, yeah.
but the first time my fucking antennas
you're like, okay.
You know what I mean?
Got a comment from the dude. My watches are down.
100%.
The same shit
Now
I would hit you with.
Now I'm on him, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yo, bro, I'm not comfortable with this shit. I'm gonna come out there, right? Like,
I'll fly right out, dude.
I'm, whatever." And so he tells me this story about a guy in South Carolina that he's going to be partners with, and the guy's a heavy hitter. That guy has since become a friend of mine, and he is a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
But it was not, it was
Smoke and mirrors.
yeah, smoke and mirrors. And and for the record, I lost in real money 225 grand on that deal.
Yeah.
This other guy lost over $1 million. So he was like the
Sick.
biggest. There was
Just
another guy.
so sick over it.
So dude, once I
Lose a $5 parlay. I'm just sick.
he calls me. I'm in my car. I'm at the gas station. I'm filling up. He's like, "Hey, do you got a second? I got to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh, here we go." Now my heart's going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No,
I get home to my garage and I text my girlfriend at the time. I say, "Hey, bring your phone out here. I want to record this."
Yeah.
She's like, "Record?" I said, "Bring your phone out here. Like, hurry up."
Yeah.
So she brings it out. I take her phone and I start filming my phone so they can hear his voice, see his phone number. You know what I mean? Because I know.
I've also heard that. I think. Did you post that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he's coming clean. He's like, "Dude, I've
That's
been
when he
robbing."
admits it.
He said, "I've been robbing Peter to pay Paul, Bob, for the last year and a half." He's like, "I'm in the fucking hole." I said, "Okay. What does that mean?" He's like, "I don't have the money for you. You saw the whole thing. I don't have the money for your watch. Whatever. I can work my way out of it." And I was like, "Motherfucker."
Yeah.
So, dude, this is like an 18-minute conversation. I probably put 10 minutes of that on TikTok. I will launch the other piece of it. We start talking about it. He's like, I drink every day. I'm an alcoholic." Dude, I'm in this conversation learning that I just been ripped off for $225,000. And I'm talking to this motherfucker about doing the steps and getting sober 11 minutes into the conversation. Swear to God. And I was like, when I hung up with him, I was like, what a fucking gift. I was a guy that lived in a Volkswagen bus, followed the Grateful Dead around, asked people for fucking spare change, ate at fucking soup kitchens in my life, did whatever job I could do to get by. I would go to fucking churches and ask for, I was just a fucking bum. And I'm a guy that just got ripped off for a couple $100,000 worth of watches. And now I'm talking to a dude about turning his life around. And I'm like, that's the gift in all this, right? That's the fucking gift. Is that that money does not change my world in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks and it hurts, but like my life doesn't change. You know what I mean? I don't have to sell my house. I'm not going to sell, you know what I'm saying? Like no one's not going to eat right now.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a gift in the whole thing. Like the perspective that I get. And that's from Alcoholics Anonymous. Right? I couldn't have come up with that on my own. That is straight God.
Yeah, 100%. And so You know, because every journey starts somewhere, right? And I love that, dude. That's funny because I've seen all those videos, and I didn't know that before we had you here. That's the funny part about it is I've seen all that. Because me and Ron are big watch guys. I mean, we love watches. We're constantly looking at watches. We haven't made it to the point we're ready for Ferraris and you know watches yet, like of that caliber.
Do you know it's coming?
But it's coming.
Then it's
100%.
definitely coming.
It's
if you say it's coming, it's coming.
100%. Ask, believe, receive. We're big guys with a secret. And Jack,
both of my license plate. I got a license plate on the Raptor. It says manifest. And I got a license plate on the Ferrari. It says manifested as well.
Oh,
written differently, but you know what I mean.
That's what it's all about. And that's what you're teaching the guys in prison. You're teaching them to start to manifest what you want. You're able to show them visual proof of guys just like them. All the tattoos, doesn't matter where you got them. It doesn't even matter. The blueprint is there. Redemption's blueprint is there.
We got guys with facial tattoos making a couple $100,000 a year.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Lots of them. I seen one guy make 6 figures in one check.
Yeah.
You know, with a face tattoo.
Yeah. Chris got a check last year for his check for one commission was $387,000.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just
for 2 roofs. 367 of that was from an apartment complex, $20,000 from a house.
Yeah, it's just been amazing to watch all my friends, all these guys, everybody come up, follow this, just like we're able to do.
Yeah,
you know. And so after though, but it didn't always start that way. Excuse me. So you're actually from upstate New York, Pennsylvania,
Reading, Pennsylvania originally. Lived there till I was 12, Harrisburg till I was 15, and upstate New York.
Share a little bit about it, because I classify my childhood as being a spoiled kid. You know, and so I had everything I could possibly want in life. I heard the word potential quite often, right? Mom, you have a lot of potential. I played sports, was good at people liked me, I was charismatic. We're sales guys, we're leaders, right? So what was that like for you?
That's my story.
Yeah, that's what I looked over at Ron in the beginning. I was like, bro, I get it. Same type of child.
I've never been to prison. I've never been locked up. I mean, I was homeless for a long period of time, and I got my own bottom was my bottom. You know what I mean?
Can we talk about traveling for the Grateful? Because after high school, you travel with the Grateful Dead for 3 years.
Yeah. When you say travel with the Grateful Dead, that's just me and my friends going around from city to city selling T-shirts.
Nice.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so we made, I made a living for a couple years just selling. We had these shirts that said, "Let the Wild Rumpus Begin" on the front with a bunch of cartoon characters on the back. We sold those for years.
Yeah.
A couple of years doing that. And then
a lot of fun. A lot of fun times.
A lot of fun. We would do you would do Dead Tour. We would go to Lollapalooza shows. We would do Horde Tour. The biggest money maker and the funnest shit, honestly, was like Spring Break. Panama City Beach, 1995. I was like 22 years old. And I was going door to door from hotel room to hotel room. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? T-shirt guy, come in. Right? And we had shirts that said "No beer," written like "No fear."
Yeah.
And it glowed in the dark. And on the back it said, "We drank it all Spring Break, Panama City Beach, 1995. And dude, it was just
made
selling 100 a day.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you go into
No Fear was the biggest thing back then.
Correct.
I'm 43 years old.
Yeah, I'm 53.
I've been trying to relive 1997 for the 20 years.
Dude, I would knock a door sometimes to sell T-shirts. I'd leave there 4 hours later. I'd stumble out of that fucking So that was really like probably my first door to door was selling T-shirts door to door, and then running around selling T-shirts. And
that's where the whole sales really started, in that out front of the Grateful Dead concert.
I don't have any special skills. I hated school. I have no education, but I had a good mouthpiece, right? And if you can talk, I learned early on. If you can talk, you can do better than most.
Because we're talking to some talkers, Ron. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about sales here for a second. I know you've done a lot of sales, right? Yeah, Kirby's, door to door. I mean, that's how we met. We met in a phone room. Right. So I'll tell you the story real quick, Bob. So we met in a phone room. So I was in Crossroads. So I had my wife, who is currently my wife. We just had a wedding, 15 years. I'm a girl dad. I got 2 daughters. Yep. Right. And so I'm coming from Mesa Detox Community Bridges off Mesa Drive. I just finally admitted for the first time that I'm strung out on heroin and crack. My wife's 5 months pregnant. I left her at her parents' house for Sunday dinner and didn't come back till 3 o'clock in the morning because I was, dope seeking, getting high, smoking crack with it off, thinking the car's going to blow up. But I had to go back and get her. So I had to get honest. No other options. So I go to detox, right? And I go to detox for 7 days, right? She moves in with her. We lose everything. I end up going to Crossroads. That's why we do all of our service work at Crossroads. I've had the same service come in for 4 years there every Saturday night at Midtown. Shout out to the guys over there. And so I was at Arcadia, and at that time it was a 16-day right track program. I got a whole bunch of self-knowledge, right? It told me all about everything. Okay, good. I'm all that shit. Okay, cool. Didn't treat it, right? Didn't put anything into practical application, none of it. And they said, go get a job, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I got a wife pregnant. I have no crib. I need everything, right? Where's the closest phone room? They're like a mile that way. So on the way there, I door knocked windshields. So I walked in, and Ron was the general manager of the phone room. And I walked in, I was like, hey, I need to use a fax machine. I had 2 windshields I needed to send in to get paid on the way there, right? And
what were you selling? Ron, what are you selling?
It was biz ops.
Home-based business opportunities. We were
Dreams.
Biz ops.
dreams. Yeah. So, and that's how we met. And so we learned that, and that's how I was back in 2011.
Yeah,
so that's how long I've known Ron. So the only jobs we've ever had. You welded for a little bit, but only jobs we've ever had is sales, dude.
Yeah,
we're some lifelong sales guys.
Yeah,
So I mean, and just share with that. I mean, that's
I think a lot of people know the story of the sales between me and you. But when I'm sitting here and I'm hearing, man, and I just have a question. It's kind of changing gears for a second. I'm sorry. How does it make you feel like, because we're right around the same age, and you have a lot of young men and some older men that are in your care. It's not about being in charge. It's about being in charge of the people under you, right? Of nurturing them and caring for them. And I can see it in your eyes, just the way you talk. Just talk for a second. How does that make you feel to know that you're part of that blueprint? Like you've collaborated with Adam, your vision aligned with his vision. And let's just take all the men that work for you. Now the ripple effect of all their families and the people in their community and their neighbors. And how does that make you feel, that being a huge part of that?
Rolling around the Rolls Royce, with your top guys
to
out
be able
in
to
Vegas.
see someone get married and get engaged and be at a recital and being part of that, being.
Dude, I feel like
it's got to be awesome.
There's real purpose when you're in the middle, right? There's like, I think everybody's got a gift, and I know what my strong points are. I know what my weak points are. I think my strong points are meeting guys where they're at, right? I could probably name 12 to 15 companies of guys that have come through Green Rhino or Pro West that now have, that are now in competition. Yeah. I'm always a guy that's like, as long as you do it the right way and do it honestly, right, then I'm all about it.
Yeah,
dude, good luck. I wish you well.
And you learn these core fundamental principles when you got sober, because you've been sober now for 28 years. You got sober in 1997.
Yeah.
So I don't want to forget to highlight that part, because that's the most important part of all of our success stories and all the amazing experiences.
Yeah, no sobriety, no nothing.
No.
Yeah, dude, right.
No,
so
right?
You get sober in 97, bro, and that's where the magic really takes place, and all the discipline that the reason why you and Adam are so successful is because you have those core principles that you now show others how to live. And because of that, you've created a community, and that community happens to be in roofing, and it just so happens to be they're all guys like us who happens to be great sales guys.
Yep.
When we're sober and clear-headed, and now you've been able to build just an empire and all the amazing things.
Dude,
what was that first time in recovery getting into it?
Just to finish to answer your question, though, there's no better feeling, right? Like, dude, I was a taker and selfish and self-centered and made every decision in my life based on fear for years. My biggest fear in my entire life was mediocrity. I don't want a mediocre. I would rather be fucking swinging for the fences and broke or rich. There's no way I was going to punch a clock for 40 years. No fucking way. Was that going to be that's what fueled me. I never had a real job. I mean, I went from high school to selling shirts and, doing that kind of stuff.
We've been on commission only our whole lives. Like, we rarely ever had
to selling
a salary,
oil change cards door to door. Dude, I did that for over a fucking decade.
Yeah.
Like, selling oil change cards for local service stations. We're having a Christmas party next Monday, and there's 375 people that are going to be there. So in the state of Arizona alone, we got 375 people, not even including the crews, that are eating off, what all the guys are creating. I think if you ask a majority of guys, what is it like to work for Bob Schober, there's only a few guys out there that really don't like me, right? And there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect me. There's a lot of guys that would say that dude's always had my back. You know what I mean? The thing that we try to do as a company is I think it's really important for sales guys to feel like we work for them, right? We're the office. We work for you. You don't work for us. you have a ton of opportunity out there. You could go work anywhere. Why would you be at Pro West? We have an amazing culture. And dude, and we're always getting better, right? We try to treat the business like my own personal recovery. A business which doesn't take a regular inventory usually goes broke, right? It says that in the fourth step. Personally and professionally, that's the case. Even when, I sit back and I think about some of the guys that are our biggest competition right now, like years ago with them, like, guys, where can we get better? And we would spend a day every few months and talk about, hey, we can do this or we can do that. I think it's important to stay teachable. We are not the same company we were a year ago. We're way different than we were 4 years ago. If you worked for us 4 years ago, you walk through the door today, you'd be like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we partner with private equity, when we did that, the CEO is very kind of process oriented. And I've always been
for this.
I've always been sales guy oriented, right? Like you
yeah.
got to cater to the sales guys.
That's right. It's your heartbeat.
The dog has to wag the tail, but you know what I mean? The tail can't wag the dog, but you still got to cater to them,
Sure.
right? That's important. And we have 240 fucking sales guys in the state of Arizona,
That's a lot.
right? We're just at 70 million for the year right now. That's an unreal fucking number. I mean, my first year in business was probably 3, then 5, then 11, right? And it just slowly went up. And we did the deal with private equity. I kind of stepped away. I don't have a lot of regrets. I should have stuck around because when I came back a year and a half later, the culture had changed, right? And I knew that
because you sold in what, 2022?
2022 in March.
And 8-figure check, would you say?
Yeah.
What's that got to? Hold on, Ron. I remember there was a time when we were cashing, we were scared to cash the checks
Right.
because the whole game we were in at that time, but 20, 30,000, and today in our lives, the numbers are a lot bigger in our lives. But we're talking about, an 8-figure check. What's that day look like? And we're talking wire transfer coming in the mail, courier.
It was a wire transfer.
Bird.
It was a lot of refreshing. It was like, when I was already a millionaire, but this was a different game, right? This was, sometimes it feels weird to talk about this, especially on the camera.
No, but it don't happen.
But it was dude, a big debt of gratitude just for life in general. And especially I got a business partner, Matt. I knew how to be a sales guy. I didn't know how to be a businessman. I was one of the best sales guys, right? If it was door to door, I had most of the records most of the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Matt taught me how to go from being a sales guy to a businessman. And there was probably 3 or 4 times from 2012 to 2022 when we did that transaction where I told Matt I quit and he talked me into staying. That dude changed my life.
Yeah, because that's how it all started.
A guy, look, God put me there when he needed it most and vice versa.
Yeah, and because that's how it all started.
Colin as well,
Yeah.
right? Those guys are I'm a big fan of the collective. I would rather get rich with my friends and see everybody else come up than just be the guy, right? I want to be the guy at the top of the hill by myself.
Right.
I want to be the guy that, with my friends.
Sure.
So that to me was what is an amazing feeling to cross that finish line together and to know that you and your kids don't ever have to think again.
Yeah.
Unless you really fuck up.
Yeah.
And I did some fucking up. I definitely I lit some money on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
And quickly was like, wait a second. You know what I mean? I need to recalibrate.
Yeah.
And I made some really good decisions after making some bad ones that kind of made up for the bad ones.
Because, and the reason why I know we probably don't like talking about it might be uncomfortable, it's because you're humble and that's because you're hard and you want to share it with others. But I think it's important at times. But you don't just get to exit in pride. Because I ask because, ultimately that's everybody's dream. That's every entrepreneur's dream is to build a company and to be able to build it with such a multiplier that it gives you the ability to, because that's your baby, right? So if you want to sell your baby, then it's got to be for, a good chunk of change, a nice multiplier.
Yeah, it's got to be you never to think again.
Right, exactly. Because it's
the interest alone, you're still living like a king for the next and your kids.
And you got to do it with people you care about, man. We're talking
Yeah.
about somebody who was in their darkest time and you helped him. And then when he, had his minor setback for a major comeback, dude, he gave you the ability to go
It's
out
an
on your
amazing
own,
story.
dude.
I had some fucking dark times, like 2017, 18. I had some shit happen that I'm not going to get into on camera.
Yeah.
But like, bro, I wanted to fight. I was on a warpath, man. And those guys, that in my entire sobriety, that was the closest I had been to a drink.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a rehab at the time, Evolution Way, that we closed down. And we had Pro West. And I checked out for probably like a month and a half. I said, guys, I can't do it. I can't do anything. I'm fucking broken right now. Dude, I went through something happened. I'm not going to get into it, but I went through a super dark time. And Colin, who's your grand sponsor, showed up for me at like 5 a.m., hung with me for the next couple days, like told his wife I'm going to be crashing at Bob's for a couple days. And then Matt flew in from Texas and stayed for like a week and a half and kind of carried me over that hump.
They rallied around you.
Dude, where do you get those kind of friends? Only in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Right.
That's right.
Right?
Dude.
Both of those guys that I was there for turned around saving my life years later.
So
I would not
awesome.
be here without them. I was really close to being like, fuck it. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's so important about recovery and the men that we surround ourselves with, and sharing about the way you feel and reaching out when you need help and all those core fundamental principles. The reason why we still sponsor guys to this day,
sure,
and have the service commitments and do all those things, man, because we need to still continuously work. Just because you get all the things doesn't mean everything goes away and you let go of resentments and fears and all that stuff.
None of it makes you feel. Look, I have had all the watches, all the cars, the houses, none of that. It doesn't fix what's broken.
Right.
I mean, it's a Band-Aid. It's nice. You know what I mean? But it certainly doesn't. That's a real statement.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So you build it all up, dude. Just think about that day. And I'm just so happy, and it motivates me, and it motivates what we do at Desert Recovery Centers. It motivates what I do in anything. I want success. It's about outcomes. But it's about your story and your journey today. And so you end up exiting the company, right? And so you end up selling it, but they see
we
decline
did
in numbers.
retain ownership too. We
Okay.
we
so you were on the
retained
board. You were on the board.
No, it's not really a board, but we
because you come back to run it. We're
we invested some of that money back into the company because I think we had a real belief and a real vision of, hey, we did this here and we can replicate this throughout the country, right? So between the three of us, we all have ownership, and for me, it was enough to keep me excited still.
Yes,
I wasn't while I checked out for a little bit, and my goal at that time was to for us to grow. I put help put the deal together with Scott Ryapel, Interstate Roofing, and with Danny Flanagan. Those were the guys that kind of brought me into the industry, and both those guys are in recovery. So that's a cool story, right? Like Scott had the company. I met Scott in 2004. He went to prison sober for a while, ran a roofing company out of prison.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then Danny went to work for Scott in 2008. But Danny had kicked dope on my couch in 2005, and his girlfriend at the time, Jamie, who now has been working for us for 10 years, right? And sober for
awesome.
20-some.
Yeah.
Danny was like, yo, come work this Kansas store. And that was in 2011. And I went to work for Scott's company with Danny. And that's kind of what brought me in. So to be able to work with those guys and get them brought into the mix and be able to share the experience that I had with them was awesome.
Yeah. So then you guys, all three now came together, right?
Yep.
And now they start to see, hey, we need you guys to step in, right? We need you to take a little bit more time at the office, a little bit more FaceTime, a little bit more hands-on.
They just saw there was dude, the week I got back, there was 4 guys that were leaving to go work for a guy that used to work for us that started his own thing. And I was like, what is fucking happening?
What is going on? We didn't know.
And after being there, for the next couple of weeks, I'm like, I see exactly, it's fucking hard to put a fucking roof on. Dude, we don't need red tape. We need ease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got a bunch of diva, guys out there who got to make it easy for them.
Yeah.
So we dove back in. We changed tons of processes. We put in a new CEO, not, maybe 9 months after that. And we became a different company. We are a fucking animal.
Machine.
We are
You
on
guys are
fire
the biggest,
right
the
now.
best. You guys, I mean, it is insane. When I go on social media, and I know Ron sees it too, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're all of our friends. It's not just one of our friends. It's about 35 of our friends.
Everybody's eating, dude.
Oh,
all them
dude.
guys. I mean, we had a half a dozen
Like
dudes make 750 grand, 600 grand last year, 500 grand last year, 700 grand last year, $1 million, over $1 million this year, $1.5 million this year. There's not many companies.
It's undeniable.
There's not many companies where the guys that are really making a change are making fucking 7 figures. as guys that work for the companies. It's not. Come on, man.
No, and
Go poll 1,000 roofing company owners. You're gonna get a dozen, 2 dozen, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe some more. But if you randomly opened up Google and started calling people and say, how much did you make last year as an owner? You'll be surprised.
yeah, I mean, every time I go on social media, I see the builds happening. Every single one of them, signing deals, builds happening. I'm liking every single one of them. I'm just shouting the dudes out because I know what it's like to door knock. I know what it's like to, need a sale and have to door knock like you've already got sales so you get the sale, right? And have that mindset and have that attitude. And when it's hot and when it's cold and snowing and raining, you doing that, dude.
You got to take care of. This is a tight. How many people run in our circle that are in roofing? How many companies that you know of are in our circle that are in roofing, right? And you gotta differentiate yourself from the rest of those guys. How is Pro West different? Our materials are way fucking cheaper than anybody else is getting them for, right? By a lot. Like when I had a guy come over from another company, we looked at one of his cap out sheets and we put it in our AccuLinks, which spits out the numbers. And we said, if you ran the same job through Pro West, it would have been 3 extra grand in your fucking pocket.
Yep. Higher commissions. That's what that ultimately
Do I even have
equates
to say anything more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Talking about?
You're leaving 10 grand on the table. You're worried about it. Dude, you just lost 3 grand on this one job. So that's kind of a big way. And I think like we put, people, there's this kind of social media thing going on right now where people are kind of bashing private equity. I have a ton of guys that work for me that went to work for some dude that was maybe newly sober or 5 years sober and started his own company and got in a financial bind and couldn't pay the sales guy.
Yeah.
Will never fucking happen with private equity.
Stability.
We got an $8 billion fund that invested in us. They're not going anywhere, right? That's one way. When you're selling, we recently did I think it's the Hilton in Tucson. And it was a very large project. Very large project.
You need the best of the best.
10 stories high. We got cell phone towers up there. We got, all kinds of stuff. I got the call on that and I gave that lead to a couple of guys that have been with us forever, Jimmy and Tom. They ended up closing the deal down. It wasn't like a complete handoff, like they had to fucking work for it. That was a tough sale. And they did that and they chopped up 600 grand on one commission.
Awesome.
I'll tell you this. I've seen the AccuLinks and the sales boards for at least a half a dozen of our competitors. And the number one sales guy at all these other companies is always the owner. There is no fucking way. I see I have a hotel job come to me that I'm going to go take that and go put that 600 grand in my pocket. I'm building a business.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to build my bank account.
Yeah.
Dude, how are you not reinvesting in your team? And you wonder why you're not breaking past a certain barrier. And I think that stuff is very evident. I had another woman that we did a bunch of roofs for 10 years ago down in Tucson. And I gave all those jobs to one of the guys and he signed a bunch. He just got a check pretty recently for $300,000 or $400,000, right? I mean, that's all stuff that our competitors are taking on themselves. And you can't do that. If you really want to grow and get to the next level,
just like
if you want to get past being stuck, the more you fucking give, the more you get, period.
Yeah.
Period.
Facts.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the more you give, that's why they stand out from everybody else, and why his path and Adam's vision, they align.
We don't need the money.
But we're not talking about. We're talking about. It's one thing to pay it forward and do all that, but when you got a deal on the end of the phone that is going to pay you $600K. And that's what makes you guys, because you have that heart, you understand the vision. That's why private equity is so important as well.
Here's the other piece. We did a hunt last year. So since we did our deal, we've grown to 22 states, like I told you.
Yeah.
Last year we did 188 million in sales. Phoenix is a big chunk of that. And a lot of new markets, right? That we grew organically to. This year we're going to do more than that. Let's say you run a 15% profit margin and nobody's taking the money. What do you do with it? You fucking reinvest it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why we can do things that the other guys can't really do. I'm not, dude, I already have my castle, right? I have my dream house, my dream car, my dream fucking girlfriend now, my dream, like everything I want to have. I already got my check. And now we're just working on building people. Do you know what I mean?
I love that.
And most companies, and it was me too. So there's nothing bad to say about it. Most guys are building their own deal, and they should be. That's cool. But when I'm looking at companies saying, who do I want to work for? who has the best, who can offer me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Who has the systems? Who has the highest commissions? Because
Dude,
you know what, and that's what I want to talk about for a second with you and Adam, right? So you end up meeting Adam, right?
Yep.
And your guys' visions align, right? And that was Adam's biggest thing. I watched Adam when he was making, $200,000 checks buy trucks for his guys. When he was making, checks where he probably shouldn't have been buying trucks with everything he was trying to get his kids back, do all those things.
Sure.
But he was still doing that. And that's what makes his team so successful, is that reinvest in each other and that pay it forward mentality,
Dude,
right?
I think that's why
Yeah.
we work so well together. When I met Adam, he's like, we're going to start our own thing in the next year and a half or so. And that time came, and a couple of the guys left that he was going to jump on board with, and he stayed, right? That's a big deal. We're also in the middle of something that's way bigger than roofing, right? Dude, again, not to bring, I'm not trying to toot our horn, but it was Adam's idea for us to go get in the prisons. One Solutions, private equity, took 6 figures and built out this program with a couple other people to make that happen. Not many company owners are not batting an eye about writing $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 checks to make investments in good ideas that your guys have. We do that. You know what I mean?
You did that.
And
built
literally
built an app to get into the prisons, to be sufficient and compliant with all the I've tried to do all the DOC red tape, to put the curriculum there, to get to the point, to get them in with all that, to get them in a room to live pitch you a door.
100%, dude.
Wow, dude.
100%.
And the sense of, and I know that you know this, but for any man or woman who's been incarcerated, and you're on the other end of that, and having you and Adam and the rest of the team that,
Drew and Kyle,
that is living, breathing examples that is possible. And for you to believe in them. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that you and Adam,
so Adam,
you believed in Adam, right? It trickled down. You believed in Adam. Adam believed in his vision. You guys came together. You believe in your team. You guys move in grace and doing the next right thing. And all of a sudden you have this massive crew that is pouring directly and indirectly into the prisons and giving that man or woman purpose on the other side of that screen. Somebody got out and got a deal their first door knock, said. I would be willing to bet, because I like to bet from time to time.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah,
that man that got that will never look back. He will be a success. He will be successful.
He's in.
Huh?
He's in.
Yeah.
He signed that first
It's
deal.
over.
He
bought in, right?
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
And
signed some deals.
And if you back it all the way up, it's from the private equity
Sure.
that said, okay, we'll give you this to do this. This is a great idea. We like it. We get behind it.
There's some private equity horror stories, like with anything, but when they were doing due diligence on us, we
proof is in the pudding. You had the outcomes.
Yeah, and we had offers, dude. We had some big offers.
Oh, yeah.
We turned down offers where I was like, holy fuck.
Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that?
me and Matt thought the same way. Colin probably thought a little bit differently than us, but we both had a number in our head.
Yeah.
We're like, we're going to get over this number. And again, I'm huge into manifestation, right?
Yes.
I mean, when we started the company, when Matt and I did that, and I said the first thing I did was put a Raptor on the computer screen. I was like, I'm going to have a Raptor. I would stare there. I would imagine myself driving it, and I could smell the new cars. But you know what I mean?
One out front right now.
Yeah. I still have a Raptor.
I've seen it. It's dope.
So that's really kind of the
dude. But I want to talk about the manifestation, dude. You didn't finish that, dude. Your license plates say manifest. I mean, because that's what it's all about, dude. And recovery taught me that, dude. Right? Because it's constant, never-ending growth that it's all about. I have vision boards up in my room right now, dude. Because there's more. It's always what's coming next, and what's the next mountain to achieve, and who can I bring with me? A true definition of a leader is how many leaders can you really turn out, right?
Sure.
And how many more? So what's it been like to see, 100+ pour in over the prison system, being able to go speak, and what's that been like?
Dude, I'm a guy that makes bets on and believes in people. I've watched Adam for 2 years now. I believe that I was one of the only guys in Adam's life that was trying to do for him what he was doing for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
That shit's so important. You gotta have dude, I don't do shit on my own. Again, I mean, I said that earlier, but it's like, I never would have got as far as I did without Colin and Matt. Matt was the money guy. Matt was fucking smart in business. Matt knew how to make business decisions. Colin was good with systems and processes, and Matt was good with that stuff too. Well, dude, when we were in the process of selling, like, well, what happened on this day? And Matt could pull some shit up from 2015. You know what I mean? Dude, I have nothing from 2015. I mean, I was a guy that would go out and sign a bunch of paper contracts, and I was missing 3 by the end of the week. Like, where are these contracts? I was a mess. But everybody had their lane,
played their part,
right? My lane was people, talking to people, teaching people. I could teach anybody how to sell shit door to door and how to be good at it. If you do what I say, I will fucking turn you into a machine. When that watch thing happened, I kind of segued, and I kind of regret this because I deleted a bunch of the videos, but I kind of segued into like the most popular question when that watch shit happened was, what do you do to be able to afford a Patek Philippe? How can you afford $200,000 worth of watches to even get robbed that much? And I kept saying the same thing, sell roofs, sell roofs, sell roofs. That was my answer. And literally I was having like thousands of people ask me that shit. So we did a contest. I said, we're running a contest. So pick 2 people from around the country. I don't care who you are or what you do. You just need a driver's license. And let me know that you're in. And I'm going to check out your profile. And we're going to pick 2 people. I'm going to fly you to Charleston, South Carolina. I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to give you a check for $5,000 when you get there. I'm going to get you put up in housing. And I'm going to teach you how to become how to make 6 figures.
Savage.
I can take anybody. We ran this contest. We picked 1 girl and 1 dude. The girl was kind of a bust. She came, she got the $5,000 check. The very first question I said to her before we made her decision was, do you have a license? And she said, yes, she didn't. She had a fucking permit. I said, dude, I can't even rent you a car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So she kind of followed another salesperson around, and she kind of fell off. But we had a guy, Jacob, and I saw Jacob's TikTok, and he was running and jumping and like doing a flip off the roof and landed on the ground. I'm like, this is the dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is the dude for sure. And we got him out there, and interesting dude, deep woods. I think it was like Arkansas or somewhere in the South or whatever. I would love to talk. I'm going to call Jacob when I leave here because this was a fond memory. But he had like pet raccoons. He had like a kind of a girlfriend who was like super into him, and he came to Charleston to learn, and he got like 9 roofs signed and on. He was just getting into the groove, and the girl was like, "If you don't come back, I'm leaving you." And so he went back to be with her. But that dude, I would bet you anything. I mean, we could call him. I bet you he's making 6 figures selling roofs right now.
That's awesome.
Because he did our whole system. Exactly what we told him to do, he did.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys have coaching, all these different things, but more importantly, just come be a part of it.
Yeah,
sure.
Right? Like, if you want to come be a part of it, reach out to Bob, reach out to the team, Redemption's Blueprint, really reach out to him. But I don't want to forget to ask you, because what comes with success and what comes with all these things is, obviously competitors, they want to duplicate it. You openly, freely share, right? And others do it. But, what's some things that your competitors do that you just like, dude, shut up, like, calm down, like, sit down, like, like, please, the outcomes should speak for themselves. But it's, are there some things your competitors do that just, a little irritating? Do you have any of those things?
Dude, I mean, I think the biggest thing, and I touched on this a little bit ago, but like probably guys are shopping, right? They know who Pro West is. They know who this guy is and that guy is. Like, they know everybody that's out there. And everybody's pitching you, telling you, hey, you're going to get the best deal if you come work for me. The thing that I think people should look out for, the thing that makes me cringe when I see it, is my competitors, when you look at their leaderboard, it's the owners are always the top sales guy in the company. Yeah. That would never be the case with us. Yeah. Never. Dude, I still get a couple phone calls a month. But hey, I need a roof done, come do it. Old customers, whatever it is, big jobs, right? Like the last, the one job was $3 million.
Yeah.
Right. And like all that shit goes to the sales guys. It just means that the competitor is building their own pocketbook, not the company. And if you work for a guy like that, you should really think twice about it.
Yeah. And if you,
or they talk shit about Pro West. They're huge. You're just a number over there. Motherfucker, you haven't been here in 4 years. You know what I mean? You are not just a number. Dude, that's the other thing we do is we can, again, I said it before, but we continuously take inventory and how can we get better? How do we improve?
And improving those around you. And it's 100%. Dude, it's all about outcomes, Ron. That's what we're always talking about is outcomes, especially when recovery and mental health and with Desert Recovery Centers, and it's always about how can we get those outcomes. People always want to have things to say, but if you haven't done it and you haven't been a part of it, then it's not valid, right? So if you want to come be a part of it and you see it, go check out Redemption's Blueprint. It's on YouTube, Instagram. Check everything out. The proof is in the pudding. You can look at Adam Tronier, Kyle Cummings. You can look at Drew Nyertz. You can look at, just look at theirs. You'll see about 150 more in each of their teams that all has the same story, right? Struggling with needing to find a path, needing to find purpose, needing to find community, right? But ultimately finding recovery and sobriety that gave them the best versions of themselves. But Bob and his team at Pro West, One Solution, have given them a platform to have the ability to just propel and excel in just such an amazing way. So if you're a sales guy working any sales job and you hear this, or you see Redemption's Blueprint, or you're someone who's recently incarcerated, you just got out of parole orientation, you're sitting there looking at your phone, you just landed in that promise to pay sober living, you're already $250 behind on the deposit, you need to get a job, call these men, be a part of. People want to help people who want to help themselves.
Yeah, I mean, hit us up, dude. I'm all my socials are 9-Figure Roofer, the number 9-Figure Roofer, TikTok, Instagram, all of it.
So 9-Figure Roofer, if you want to reach out to Bob, you want to be a part of his team in the journey, reach out to him. And if you want to find Bob, it's been amazing to have you on the show,
thanks,
dude.
Bob.
Just the journey. And just because I've get to see the impact you've had on so many guys' lives that are personal friends of mine, especially Adam so close. And I love what you said about that, right? Because I watched Adam pretty much give away every single penny that he was making to reinvest just in his team. And he didn't even, and when it would be time for any exit of whatever company he previously worked for, he wouldn't even have been thought of.
Sure.
Right. And so that's what's been so amazing to watch. And now to finally have you on the show today, you've given him that ability and that stability and belief and that backing and someone who wants to help his ass, right? And take care of him for a minute and pay for the bill once in a while, you know?
Dude, I really feel like the best guys in the entire industry are in our walls, right? Greg Grosvenor, been sober, a long time as well. He's an absolute rock star. I mean, he knows more about roofing than probably all of our competitors and myself combined. Billy Hackinson, our CEO, Jamie Lofgren, who is kind of the office mom. Like it's rock stars. My favorite quote is, "If I have seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants." And I am surrounded by fucking giants.
Yes, you are.
And the view is fucking amazing.
It's awesome.
And it is really nice.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of hard work, and you get to live the byproduct of your hard work. And then, God, it's just like having a million sponsees. Like you have like 300 sponsees that all work for you.
Do that.
No, I'm just saying. But just when it's like watching a sponsee that you pour into and you show a path and they actually live it and you get to see the miracle happen. You get to see it not only with the men you still sponsor to this day, because that is the secret sauce. Right? That's the secret sauce. That's the juice. You're still willing to go pick someone up at midnight and take them to detox anytime, day or night when you're
I haven't done that in a minute, but I still have sponsees and I don't forget where I came from.
No,
dude, there's moments where I look around, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
I mean, that's God.
Yeah, it's all God. So if you're someone also too that's suffering from substance abuse, mental health, and you need help, it doesn't matter your financial situation, what insurance you take. We don't care about any of that. We want to help you. So please reach out. Desert Recovery Centers, Ron, where can they find us?
DesertRecoveryCenters.com. Instagram, Desert Recovery Centers, Powerless to Powerful. Jason and Sarah on Instagram and Facebook. Myself, you can message us personally. Ronnie, no matter what, on TikTok. Just reach out to us. Like Jason says, and he really means it when he says it. I see it every day. We don't care what insurance you have. We don't care what you're suffering from, where you've been, what you've been going through. We just want to be part of a solution. We have an amazing admissions team that is connected across the country. So we'll be able to help you. So please reach out to us. And again, it was just a pleasure to meet you. It's so awesome. And you hit me hard when you said that about you're doing for Adam what he's done for all these other people. And he's my friend. And he really needed that. And you've given him new life, and you guys have collaborated to continue to build an amazing deal, what you got going on over there.
Yeah, so. That's crazy, isn't it?
It's awesome.
And it's cool to see his manifestation happen too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know we're wrapping it up, but like him saying, I want to be in the prisons. I want to be able to reach everybody,
I know.
And now we're there.
The conversation.
We're literally reaching tens of thousands of prisoners. As we speak.
You guys got in the tablets in under a year, got on there and are teaching guys because he saw the success that we had, dude, and just believing in somebody, dude. And you gave him the path to really do it on a grand scale, dude. And you guys joined forces, and it is happening. Like, dude, it's just a miracle, dude. And it all started in that blue book, dude. And that's where the foundational components came, and now we carry it into every aspect of our life. And it just so happens it's business, and we're entrepreneurs, and we became successful. And you just inspired me to even get a sliver of the success that you've seen. So I appreciate your time. And if you're suffering, man, thank you for your time. And new episodes dropping every single week, and we got a ton of gratitude for all of our listeners all over the world. But if you need help, please reach out.